It's time. Where's my last group? Yeah, what's your question?
Oh,
Hello.
I just want to ask, uh, did we skip one person, or
One person
is
bailed on me. Yeah,
who
I'm
is
not
it?
real
Can I
happy about
ask?
it. I'm not real happy about it.
Ajahn, can I ask who is it?
Oh, yeah, maybe don't worry about it.
Oh no, because you see, Mr. Techin, I think he
Yeah.
emailed me about forming a group with me.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, but it's tomorrow now the presentation, so I just worry whether he has finished his work or not.
Yeah, he was originally going, you guys was doing it together or not?
No, no, I never talked to him.
Yeah, he's supposed to do it by himself. Yeah, he's kind of screwed up. And if he'd come to class, I would have swapped the days, but he didn't come to class that last class. So like, okay, I don't care. You don't care.
See,
But I don't know. I have to think about it. My first reaction is just to my first reaction is not very good. I have to get over it.
I see. Then excuse me.
That's okay. Tomorrow, man. Tomorrow. You present tomorrow, right?
Yes,
Yeah. It's nice you hang all the time, kind of watch the presentation.
just to make sure.
And are you guys ready? Pumra P, Nanti Porn, Prook, man, where are you? Come here. We can start a little early, even, man. Oh, I
Uh,
love the headset. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Is it too dark?
You're fine.
All right.
so should we start? I
Yeah.
think.
Anytime you guys are ready, why don't you guys share your screen?
Okay.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna start then. Good afternoon, Mr. Brian. Today, me and my group will explain the research about the transportation in MUSC student community with the research question: what difficulty do MUSC students have faced from using the personal and private transportation when traveling to the university? So the member, including me, Nantiporn, Kumapi, and Prip. And what are we going to cover today? We're gonna talk about the purpose of our research first. Then we're gonna show you the example of literatures and research that related to our research too. Then we're gonna explain about the methodology. Then we're gonna give you the result and conclusion at the end of this presentation. So start with the proposed. After visiting the university a couple of times, we see the problem from using private and public transportation. Because of that, we decided to do the case study by collecting the data from a university student about the university parking lot, the transportation, the problem that they face, and the solution that they think is could fix the problem perfectly. And along with another university student in comparison, with the intentions of finding the best solution to fix the problem that our university student have faced.
Literature and research. We in this we shows two studies, two research articles to talk about, and I'll be talking about the first one, which is modeling Chulalongkorn University campus parking demand. This article is a study of a parking demand of Chulalongkorn University campus in Bangkok. Um, They conducted a survey of drivers who park in public parking locations in the northeastern part of the campus. They interviewed 130 students commuters who regularly park on streets nearby campus and a parking structure on campus. These commuters were asked questions regarding their travel and parking behaviors, the attitudes towards attributes of parking facilities, as well as their socioeconomic characteristics. They hypothesize that the utility of parking choice depends on attribute of parking location, socioeconomic characteristics of commuters, and their attitudes towards parking attributes of parking facility. Attributes of parking location include parking tariffs, distance to destination, availability, shade, security, and cover. Socioeconomic characteristics of commuters include household income, time of arrival and departure, parking duration, and trip purpose. As you can see in the table too, 58 and 72 interviewees parked in their car in Mahachakri, Sirinthorn, and on Angri Dunang Road. Among almost 90% of the student population was undergraduated. Undergraduate. This reflects the facts that the university can only accommodate a small number of undergraduate students at the university while there are many students. In addition, most of the interviewed students enroll in Faculty of Arts and Faculty of Engineering since these faculties are in an easy walking distance. Using logistics regression, after getting the first result, they examine the factors affecting parking behaviors of commuters under discrete choice, where they are going to distribute function y with uh, which equals 1 if person chooses alternative t and o and 0, otherwise is given by equation below, where x indicates a vector of characteristics of alternative t as faced by person I and f is cumulated distribution function of the logistic distribution. Uh, write the logic model as in equation 2. This to test the hypothesis, they estimate a binary choice model of parking location using logistics regression with the data set described above. As the method, they use the set statistic to test the null hypothesis that coefficient for each individual variable is 0, and using the likelihood ratio test for the null that coefficients of four groups of variables are jointly 0. The statistical fit as reflected in the value of pseudo r squared is when the range found in other parking demand modeling studies. The coefficient for Mahayaki-Clinton specific constant is negative and highly significant, implying that all else being equal, commuters tend to prefer Angli Dunang. This result is reasonable considering that Angli Dunang parking is free of charge, whereas Mahachakri-Clinton is not. The one who prefer to have a presence of security guards and cover from rain or sun tend to park at Mahachaki Sirinton, not Angli Dunang parking lot, which is a reason why the parking lot in Mahachakri Sirinton costs. Lastly, the findings show that the market approach to solve shortage of on-campus parking can be effective by providing parking facilities with desirable attributes such as those of Mahachakri Clinton parking facilities. Driver can be attracted away from free on-street parking given the right price.
Okay, so now I will talk about the second article, which is measuring public transport satisfaction from user survey. So the purpose of this research is to let the transport planner and decision maker know that which attribute is important to user, and also allow the transit authority and operators to know that which attribute that user are unsatisfied with so they can improve it in the future. For the method of the research, so firstly, the researcher boarded buses, minibuses, and jeepneys, and then they randomly interviewed the passenger. Overall, there were 376 participants. The interview questions were divided into two parts. The first part is the general questions such as gender or age. And then the second part is more specific about the attributes. And then the researcher asked the participant to rate 1 to 10 for each item based on the passenger satisfaction for each attribute. And then ask them to rate 1 to 5 for each item. Depends on how the user think of each item's importance. So for the result, the cost of service received the highest satisfaction score because in Amman, the cost of owning private vehicle is high. So when compare the private and public transportation, the public ones is a lot more cheaper. However, the average satisfaction score is around 4 to 5, which indicate that the user are not fully satisfied with the public transportation. And as you can see, for the bus that received the highest satisfaction only got less than 60% of satisfaction from user. So now I will explain about table 3, 4, 5 that demonstrate the three attributes that user are most satisfied with, least satisfied with, as well as the attributes that user think are the most important and the least important. So we'll start first with the bus. So users are satisfied with the ease of payment because the smart card payment is available on every bus routes, and also the user are satisfied with the number of the service that can meet the user demand, and also they are happy with the presence of both entrance and exit doors. And for the three attributes that users are least satisfied with, none of them are important to the user. So the bus received the highest score of three vehicle with 101 out of 180. So now I will move to minibus. So the user of minibus are not happy with the waiting area, which lack of well lit. So it is dangerous to personal security, and they also feel unsafe in the bus because sometimes they face the driver who drive recklessly and fast. And also due to the high floor of the vehicle, the wheelchair cannot be used on the minibus. And since the safety and personal security are the attributes that users think is the most important, and the minibus didn't do well on these two attributes, the minibus received the lowest score out of three vehicles with 77 out of 180. So lastly, Jitney. Jitney is kind of taxi with the fixed route, and it can be shared with 3 people. So the user are satisfied with the cost of travel because when compared to the normal taxi, the Genie is a lot cheaper. But with the sharing system, the user sometimes face the crowding and loss of privacy. And the wheelchair is not accessible on Genie. So since the attribute that users are least satisfied, only the wheelchair space is the attribute that important to the user. The score of Genie is not low but not high with 89 out of 180.
So let's move to our research methodology. We're using the descriptive observations with the convenient random sampling. We're doing the survey, interview, and coding in order. First, we creating the survey questions, then add them into the survey platform, which we use the Google form for it. Then we send it into MUSC student to fill in the form by the batch group, the Rapnon group, and frame for it to another. We specifically told them that you need to send this survey to MUSC student only, not to another MUSC student. So for the survey, we just want to know the information in general, how MUSC students come to the university, or are there any problem that they are concerned about right now. We got 78 participants in total for the survey. And for the interview, after we got the general information, we realized that we need to have more specific details, right? More specific information. So we decided to do the interview with the participant from our university, which is Mahidol University, and another university all around Thailand. And we take this an interview using 2 ways, which is the text interview and the voice interview, because none of us in our group have a chance to go to the university to do a face-to-face interview. So we decided to do the text and voice interview instead. And as I say, the purpose of the interview is because we want to have more specific detail. we found that if we do an interview, we're going to talk about the issue, the problem, or the solution with the participant more specifically. Like we have a chance to talk with them more than doing the survey. And after doing this interview, we found that each university face a different problem. So the solutions from every university can be shared and compared to our university to find the best solution. For interview, we got 14 participants in total. And after we got all the results, we decided to do the coding method by collecting the data from the interview and highlighting them and separate them into each category. First, we divide them into two topics first, the private transportation, then the public transportation. We got 6 participants for the private transportation and 8 for the public one. The coding is the easiest way to find the result from the interview, and this is easy for us to catch the word into the group and lead them to the result of our experiment. So this is the example of our coding section. We cannot add all like into text in one like slide, so we just give just some example of it because we have 6 participants instead. This is for the private transportation. We give you some example of the meaning for each color, and each color describe university, gender, location of parking, the cost to park, the form of payment, which is cash or QR code payment, and the range of payment due date, the shadow of service, any problem to suggest, and the solutions for the problem. And this one is for the public transportation. You will see that there will be 3 colors similar to the private one, which is the university, genders, and solutions for the problem. And for another new information, we add the new color, like highlighting them into new color, including the amount of time that they spend on transportation, any traffic jam, cleanliness late due to the public transportation, waiting time, fare cost, a lot or not, and the safety.
Okay, so now I will talk about our result. So the graph demonstrates the popularity of the transportation amongst MUSC students. So as you can see in the graph, it is clear that the personal vehicle received the highest popularity, and it contributes to 46% of all vehicles. And the second and third place are the buses and taxi, which has 40% each. And some university students also use Salaya Link, motorcycle taxi, dorm vans, and some even walk to the campus. So this is the factor that NUIC students use to choose the vehicle. For private vehicle user, 34% of them say that because they already own car, so it's just easy that they ride the car to the university. And the next 34% said that using private vehicle is convenient. 17% of students said that the family members or friends drive them to the campus, and the last 8 and 7% said that using private vehicle costs less, and it also located near the accommodation. For public transportation user, the convenience, the price, and the location are the most important factors and contribute to 97%. So there was one user who said that he chose the public transportation because it is better for the earth. And overall, the convenience is the most important, is the most significant factor in student vehicle selection. So now I will talk about the percentage of problem that MUSC students who use private vehicle have to confront. The biggest problem is the cost of parking lots. One student said that she had to spend a lot of money because he has to come to the university 4 times a week and park each day for a few hours. And the second largest problem is that the van that picks students up from the parking lot to the building take too much time. one student shared her experience that when she wait for the bus, she has no idea when the bus will come because there is no timetable. And when she is the only one who wait there alone, the bus driver will wait 5 to 10 more minutes for another passenger. And some students also face the problem of lack of parking lots and traffic jam. Next slide, please. So now I will explain about the difficulties of MUSC students who use public transportation. So their biggest problem is the traffic jam around the campus, which almost 30% of students experience this problem. And the next problem is for public bus and BTS user. They say that the vehicle cannot meet the public demand because they have to face the overcrowding in the vehicles, especially in the morning and in the evening. And the next problem is from the taxi user due to the expensive fare. The fourth problem is another problem from public bus user who said that the bus lack of the punctuality because it have no timetable, which wastes a lot of users' time. And the last problem is that 3.9% of students said that the main public transportation is located far away from their accommodation, so they have to take the taxi first and then they can go to the main public transportation, which that add even more cost to their transportation expense.
And for the public transportation MURC student phase, I'm sorry, the public transportation MURC students which will be available is MRT and BTS. As you can see in the graph that 45 students chose MRT and BTS because it saves travel time. We not encounter traffic jams, and it takes only a few minutes to each stations. If you consider the convenience and the time it takes, you can see that the fare is not that huge. And 9 students chose bus as they want more variety of bus routes so they can come to the university from their accommodation with lower expense. And for the solution for private transportation in MUIC, there should add more parking lot near the building and reduce parking costs. Uh, there was some interviewees said that the parking lot costs about 4,000 baht a term for under the building, and it was 2,000 baht for during COVID. And more bus for sending student, create a bigger area for parking, free parking area for student, and they should also have a physical payment as online payment is inconsistent. If payment machine broke, like they won't be able to pay. And for other universities, they should be a timetable for the shuttle bus, increase the shuttle bus to meet the students' demand, and they should add more parking lots. As you can see that in similarity, the other universities and MUIC, a lot of universities are facing the problem that there is not enough parking lots for students. This proved the fact, what they said in the first article, that the university can only accommodate a small fraction of undergraduate on campus while there was a large number of students, commuters. And solution for public transportation for MUIC, they should ride to the nearest BTS stations, so it's more convenient for students. Improve the quality of the public transportation, increase the number of public transportation, lower the fares to meet university students' need. Um, Free bus service, around students' dormitory, improve walkway or footpath with which it encouraged Thai students to walk or bike more, add more choice of public transport, and they should also should change the old bus to the new one so it's more stable. And also there are students from both of university having this problem where students who they decided not to get in the transport that seem too old because it seemed like it's not safe, so they chose to wait for a better one, which led them to spend more time on waiting. And if the next one comes, the good one comes, it might like be overcrowded. They should provide a time schedule for bus arrival and departure and lower the cost. You can see in the similarity that they should increase the number of public transportation to meet students' demand around the university area as well and lower the cost. And for students who like after 6 p.m., the public transport travel less, which mean that students who got like class at 6, finish the class at 6, or they got some work in the evening, it will be hard for them to go back home.
So let's talk about the conclusion. We're gonna answer the question that we asked in the first slide. We divided the answer into two sections for the private transportation and public transportation. We got from the result that we got, we found that inclusive students have to spend a lot of money on parking costs, where the amount of parking lot do not meet the student demand. Even if there are many parking lot around our campus already, like under HTR Town building, the new one with the Starbucks, and at Park 5 or Park 2, we have a lot of parking lot all around our university, but still the amount of students who use their private car is getting higher in every year. So this means the parking lot will not meet the student demand anyhow. And the answer for the public transportation, we found that many students also face very high fare, as same as a private transportation for the high parking cost. And they also face the trouble of traffic jam, which could lead them to be late on class. And also the timetable is not available for students. If you walk in front of our university and wait for the bus, you're not gonna know when will the bus will arrive or depart, because there was no timetable for us to look at it. And also, even if there are a lot of buses, but in a field in specific directions or in each route, to be easy to understand is like if you want to go to Soi Tang Sin, there will be only two number of buses go like past the Soi, but there's still a lot of bus in front of our university, but only two of them pass the Soi. So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Why don't you leave it there for just a sec? Let me read. Why don't you go back to your first slide? I like the question. I thought you had a nice formed question. Go to your structure, introduction. I think it's the next page. One more. There you go. Yeah, you got the introduction there. It would be perfect if you did it one more time at the end, but I think that's nice. Once you go to your journal, your literature search, what type of research is this?
The
Descriptive
what-
observation.
yeah.
Think maybe
Random
if you
sampling.
put it, let's turn the next page. Next slide. Let me look. Slow down. Go back. Go back. You got observation. Yeah, you're missing the descriptive. Once again, I want you to tell you what type of research.
Okay.
The thing that I teach you for the midterm, it's going to be in the final. It's the same thing in your presentation. I do see observation. I would, you didn't, once you go on to the next article. And the same thing. What's the research method? Yeah, on both of these, you kind of missed that part. This one is a little bit clearer on what was happening with the bus user, mini user, overall users and stuff. It was a little bit easier to follow for that. Thank you, guys. Go to the method. Your method, sorry. And I think you did pretty good on this one. Oh, what's the research method you guys used?
Research method, this one, the descriptive observation and.
Oh, I see it now. I see it. You read it, but you read it really quick. What next slide?
I'm sorry.
That's right. I would need to go back and see it again. But yeah, you had it there. And then you got non-random sampling.
Yeah.
And then let's go to the next slide. And I think you did. Oh, I like it. You did another introduction. I like that part. So you did another part where you reinforced the structure of what you're doing right now. Go ahead to the next slide. You talked about this. Where did the survey come from? Where did the questions come from?
The questions we think it of our own just a little bit, and we take from the Chulalongkorn ones, just a few, not all.
Yeah, it'd been nicer if you just said that you got it from the other research. You should do that anyway. If you borrow it from another place, just say where you get it from.
Okay.
And let's go to the next one. And I can see the questions. You did qualitative or quantitative? That's the qualitative.
Qualitative.
Yeah, it would have been nicer if you would have highlighted maybe the first one was quantitative where you had surveys, right? And then this one you followed up with qualitative. It's there. It's just you didn't use the words for it. So I'm not gonna knock you on that. And keep going. And I like the coding. Yeah, I like how you explained all of this. So I thought you did very good for the methodology. Why don't you go ahead and go to the results? This slide's a mess. You see the freshman, sophomore, and you got red, red, green, green, blue, blue. You got all these. Yeah, you maybe needed to summarize it a little bit better. You're trying to put too much information on that first slide. See it? And I can't really see anything coming from that slide. It's hard to understand that one. And you see the colors. That's why I usually, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just label this as personal vehicles, taxi. Because if you get like 7 colors, it gets really confusing what's going on. The pie chart, I'm not crazy about pie charts, but you guys did it the way that it's easy to understand. I like where you put the labels on it like that. Instead of just having orange, 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 and then you had to figure out what it was. So the way that you did your pie chart is the way I like. I appreciate that. Next one. Yeah, you need to slow down and explain your information a little bit better. These are really hard to read. What's the blue mean?
The private vehicle.
And then what's the brown mean?
The public transportation.
It probably would have been better to separate those two out. You see, it looks a little complex because I can kind of guess about the blue, but then I got like 0 for brown and 10 for brown. I'm like, what the? It hurts my brain. So I think you maybe need to do a little bit more analysis, slow down a little bit, explain those slides a little bit better, and then maybe make the information more simple. Do you see it? So you can tell a better story. All of the information is there. It's just you having maybe some issues presenting the information clearly. Let's go to the next one. Because from this, I can't read it. This is where it becomes a lot more clearer about what's going on. And this one's pretty easy to follow about private vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And this is coming from qualitative or quantitative?
This is coming from I think it's from the interior one, it's qualitative.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit better if you could label it clearly. This is the measured one, and this is the interview one. Yeah, okay. You can kind of see it, but it's not as clear. Keep going. And all of this is really interesting, guys. Keep going. And then you do the analysis part, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the conclusions and stuff like that. The problem with the result part is you kind of put too much information on slides, and it was a little difficult to read those slides, those first 4 or 5. Okay.
Okay.
For the way that you guys present, some of you guys maybe read a little bit too much, but the way that you read, it's not obvious. I don't know how you do that, but I know some of you guys are going from a slide somewhere, you're not. But I enjoy, all 3 of you are about the same types of presenter. I enjoyed watching you guys. And done, man, done. Go away. Have a nice life. Like I think I already messaged you guys. We'll go play Evolution next Friday. I was going to do this one more time, and I thought, oh, I think we've had enough presentations. Let's do something fun, and we'll play for points. Whoever wins the game, whoever wins their table, you get extra points for your final. Deal? Okay. No. Yes. No. Homer B's making faces at me. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. He's doing the serious face.
I think I won't be able to go. I live in like another province.
Oh, if you do, why don't you hang with Punrapi or Pruk? Why don't you? They can use your phone, and then you guys can connect, and you can kind of chat together and stuff during the game. Would that be okay?
Okay.
So you can also gossip, and you can show them the cards you can show them your playing cards on the phone and say, what do we play next and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd like you to be a part of it still, even though maybe you're not in the same building. Okay. So why don't you guys hang out with your gang right here? Why don't you talk them into connecting with you? You can use Zoom or you can use Line or whatever you guys like to use. It's not a problem at all. Deal? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, join and give them tips and say, you should play this card. You should play this card. I just want to hang out and do something together. I'm tired of academics. You guys are as well. I'm burned out, man. It's time for a break. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day.
Bye.
You must have been really tired.
No, tomorrow I'm going to be tired, man. Today's good. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.